Hey guys, it's Mark from Migraine Professional, and in this video I'm going to be talking about the difference between migraine headache causes and migraine headache triggers. And so before I get going in the video, make sure that you've seen the migraine thresholds theory video, which I'm going to link to in the description below. But what we really want to kind of start to understand this is our cup threshold. And so our cup is basically our brain and our body's total tolerance. And so the top of that cup is our threshold. So when we kind of add water into that cup, that water is our triggers. And so those triggers kind of add up. And when the triggers get to the top of the cup, when they start overflowing, we get a migraine. And so what happens when we get a migraine is that our body kind of stops. It says, no, I'm kicking into overdrive. I'm increasing the pain, I'm making you stop whatever you're doing, I'm increasing the amount of blood flow to the brain to bring oxygen, to bring resources, to bring nutrients, to increase all the different growth factors in the brain so that it can recover from the stresses. So in a way, migraines are a good thing. But what we want to understand is that our cup threshold is critical to us understanding causes and triggers, because a cause may it kind of just adds a little bit of water to that cup. But our trigger will be the thing that sets the water out of the cup. It will be the sort of the added stress that makes the cup overflow. If we want to think of it a different way, we can think of it like a chain. So the chain is like all of our body's systems. So for example, everyone is given a set of cards, their genetics and their epigenetics, and that predisposes them to a number of different strengths and weaknesses. And so those weaknesses are the weak links in that chain. And like we know, the weakest link in the chain is the one that breaks. So when you take this chain and when you put stress on it, when you put strain on it, when you tighten that chain, every time you add a trigger, that chain gets tighter and tighter and tighter, and then eventually, once it gets to the threshold, the weak link breaks. That threshold on that chain is when the weak link breaks. And so for migraine sufferers, that weak link is their brain. So we want to make sure that we avoid that trigger, but we also want to make sure that we keep our causes low. Because if our causes, if the sort of triggers that are just causes are sufficiently low enough, we won't sort of trigger if we're just adding another little trigger, because life makes fools of us all. So if we happen to have some emotional stress in our lives, if our causes are low enough, if we're keeping our trigger levels low and we're keeping our foundations really strong, which are kind of taking the water out of that cup, leaking the water out, taking out our stresses, taking out our triggers every day, then we won't trigger. So it's important to understand that in the chain and in the cup, that we kind of understand that it makes migraines very multifactorial. And so it makes everyone different, because the things that will increase your trigger levels are different for everyone. So there are some things that are just generally bad, like if you're eating a food that is kind of throwing off your blood sugar, that's bad. That causes a lot of stress in the body. If you're eating an excessive amount of stimulating drinks or foods, that increases the stress on the body. It ruins your cortisol DHEA ratio, and it causes stress on the body. Or for example, if you are eating a bunch of foods that are just empty calories, they're not providing nutrition that you can actually build cells with and build a stronger, better brain with, then that's a bad thing. But for healthy foods, they're healthy unless your body has a specific sensitivity to them. So all of these food trigger lists and diets, and they're all kind of they cause a lot of problems, because they create a lot of confusion, and you can almost just throw them all out because they're not specific to your individual needs, and that's the most important in determining your causes and your triggers. Your needs and how your body is functioning, what it's asking for, and what it's not asking for. So that is really important, and that's kind of why I created the Food Triggers Guide, which helps you understand your own individual nutrients, needs, and make sure that you're sort of getting nutrients in a fashion that's continually keeping you desensitized to foods instead of constantly sensitizing you until your immune system starts reacting to that food. And so, let me know in the comments below what causes and what triggers for migraines or headaches do you notice in your life. And so make sure you like, you subscribe, and let me know, how did I do? Thanks. Hey, it's Mark from Migraine Professional. Thank you for watching this video. Remember to subscribe in the bottom left corner, and head on over to the website in the description if you want to learn more about migraines and headaches than you've ever known before. And so let me know, how did I do in the video? Thanks.